Good evening. My name is David Ganger. I have a passion for technology, and nothing else matters. The mission of our meetup this evening, why we're coming together, what we're here to do, is to elevate technology standards in our community by bringing great minds together. Thank you for being such an important part of this. A huge thank you to the wonderful people here at BitBean for providing this venue and enabling us to have such a great event. I'm so happy to see you mixing and mingling. Networking is what this is all about. Each of you represents a company that does tremendous things in this ecosystem. We've got people from B&H, AJ Madison, Ura, my friends at Fabuwood, BitBean, C2P, and a lot of others. Each of you has nailed something in technology that makes you great. Now, you don't necessarily have it all figured out, but certainly you've got an edge. Technology is hard. Technology is messy. We're all doing great things, but it's not easy. By bringing people together, we can learn, share, and grow our companies. In fact, our tech industry could one day be on the level of Silicon Valley. Our community has done a wonderful job in real estate and Amazon back in the days. Technology is next. There is so much we can do with technology. When we see a great company, the decisions that are made on the path to greatness are hardly seen. We just see results. There are some key people in every company who make it happen. Barry Glick has been doing just that at C2P. Let's give a warm welcome to Barry, the speaker of this evening.
Good evening. My name is Hanani Glick. Barry is my first name, but email. What's your email address? Hanania. It's going to be a little bit of a. It's going to be a little hard for him to spell it. My name is actually Hanania Doiv, and my legal name is Barry. So that's where it comes from. It's a conversation opener. So the goal of today's presentation, let's call it, or speech that I'm going to give. It's not really a speech, it's more of a conversation. That was David's vision for this part of the evening. So everybody to chime in it's a welcome to chime in. It's not just I'm going to speak and like I said, we welcome feedback from the crowd. So I would like to start also thanking BitBean for opening their hearts and their doors for such a wonderful event, for so many talented people to be able to come and congregate. And as well as David had a passion, I think we should all give him a round of applause for getting such a talented crowd together. It took him about 6 months to do it, and he finally got it done. And such a team of really, really professional and busy people is not a small feat to do, to get them together. So my name is Hanani Glick. I have a company called Sail and Anchor, and I'm a fractional CEO. I've been at C2P for over about C2P Group doing operations and business development for the past 2 years. They have 10 brands under them, so I was doing fractionally for most of their brands. Some of them are startups, some of them are operational. Now I'm sure you guys are thinking, why is an operations guy speaking at a tech conference? So I can say with confidence that this room over here is filled with talented people that did not go to college. I don't think anybody here has a degree in engineering, right? Anybody? Nobody.
The PTL doesn't count.
So to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, you have to go to college, get a degree. Here it's a whole bunch of self-taught individuals that have achieved tremendous things in the world of technology. So the reason why I am speaking is, at the end of the day, technology is a very fine thing, but it's a business and it's got to be profitable. If you can't make money on software, you can't make money on technology, it's never going to work. So that's why we decided to have this conversation regarding from the business perspective. One thing I would say that the Yiddish community, I think, has over Silicon Valley, and I think that that's going to pan out over time. At the end of the day, in Silicon Valley, their main focus is entertainment value with their products. In the Yiddish community, everything that's out there is all productivity, and it's made to make people's lives better or processes better or improve infrastructures. It's not driven with the addictiveness and the entertainment value. So I think that's why that's one thing that's soon going to be. It's going to be maybe Boulevard of the Americas Valley or something at one point. So in order to build a software, you have to have a vision. Being a visionary, I would say, that's my opinion, is not going to cut it. Visionaries, a lot of people are visionaries. But you actually, to execute, you have to have your visionary. The visionary is fine, but you have to have a vision. What am I going to do? Where am I going to get to? So being at C2P for the past 2 years, where I've, like I said, overseen 6 operational companies and 4 startups, I have found myself a new understanding of what means vision in software and what a roadmap and a vision that turns into a roadmap can actually do to scale a technology company, make it profitable, or venture into other markets of your software. So now, what is a roadmap? Right? Everybody sees roadmap, right? For own technology, everybody sees what's my roadmap, what does your roadmap look like? Let's distill it down to one thing. A roadmap is a piece of paper with a whole bunch of roads going from one city to the other city. That's the definition of a roadmap. Now, somebody wants to go from New York to California, wants to make a road trip, he'll take a roadmap. He has a vision. He wants to get from New York to California, and on the way, he wants to stop in Colorado, he wants to stop in Virginia. That doesn't make maybe sense, so that's how we're going to go to Ohio, rather. That's what a roadmap is. A roadmap doesn't mean just one road, and I'm just going down this road, and there's nothing on the other side. A roadmap is a big landscape. In the world of technology, services and solution is part of your roadmap. And I'll explain it this way. What is your product going to achieve? What problem are you solving? What solution is your product providing? So let's take roadmap for a second and zoom out to regular business. Every business out there is solving a pain point of a consumer. If you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're a marketing person, somebody has a pain point, the professional is there to solve his problem. Now, if it's going to be a brick and mortar store, you're solving the issue that he can come closer, or if it's a big brick and mortar store, I can give it for a discount. There's a solution. Somebody has a pain point, he has a solution. If it's a product, he can't make it. Right? He can't go and make a can opener. He's just going to go buy the product. So somebody has a pain point, he has to open up a can. Somebody provided him a solution, a can opener. Software is the same thing. Somebody has a problem, somebody has a pain point, and software is there to solve their problem. One thing, what I would say software has an advantage over any other industry would be it can fix problems very easily, and it's very hard to make. As you all know, software is not an easy thing to build. It's not an easy thing to maintain. So this is why a vision is very important when it comes to software. You're solving somebody's issue, and you're there to do it make it better for them. It's not that he just has a can opener now. You're making him, he has a big problem, software can come in and solve a lot of his issues. So I would like to discuss a bit how the contrast between a vision from a brick and mortar or a regular business to a software. So let's take a brick and mortar store. Brick and mortar store has a vision. What's his vision? His short-term vision is, let's take a grocery, for example. His short-term vision is he wants to have a meat department. After 2 years, he wants to have a deli, he'll want to have a bakery, and a fish store. After 5 years, he wants to have a full organic line with vegan products and gluten-free products, for example. And after 10 years, he wants to have 3 stores. That's his vision, that's his roadmap, that's what he wants to get to. He has a very clear vision. When it comes to software, there are 3 factors that are going to shape your vision. If you're taking a 10-year sample, you have your vision, you have your client's needs as they're coming in, it's going to change. When you started, now the client needs something else, it can change. The market changes very fast as well when it comes to software. Grocery store, brick and mortar, it took Amazon 20 years to penetrate the market. It didn't happen overnight. ChatGPT came in, and just like that. And it's going to accelerate. As market changes go, it goes way, way, way faster. So this means that software is a very nuanced roadmap. It's dependent, it's codependent, and it's dependent on factors that are really not in your control. So let's take for an example, if somebody has a grocery store and after 4 years, nobody's interested in vegan or organic products. He just cuts it out of his roadmap and he just continues going forward. He gets a big cash infusion. He decides, you know what? Let's open up 3-4 stores. In software, who knows if the market is ready for it? There's way more factors and variables when you're deciding what your future is going to look like. So I would like to break it down to 3 topics that we're going to discuss tonight. Later on, we'll have a little bit more of a Q&A about it. But I think there's 3 main factors when it comes to vision and roadmap. One of them is roadmap agility. The second is less is more. And then the old added question, public roadmaps, client roadmaps, or internal roadmaps only. Conversation that I think everybody has. So now the most important part of having a clear vision, and this is in my opinion, and I've proven fact, I've done it, is to have a mission that encapsulates your vision. The first thing before you build your roadmap, before you build your vision, the first thing is to have a mission. What am I accomplishing? What issue am I solving? What is the market lacking? What is the mission? What opportunity can I make better? Can I take a legacy product and replace it? To get informed about a mission, the best way how to do it would be is get your full team on board, meaning from the top till the customer service. That means the CEO, the CTO, your sales director, sales team, sales leader, even customer service. Keep in mind, the lower down the hierarchy, the closer you are to your consumer, right? How many clients does a technology CEO speak to? Hardly ever. The customer service guy or the salespeople, they're the ones talking to the clients all the time. So the lower down the hierarchy, the more information you're going to get. And if somebody's a startup, just make boxes and think of yourself now. Okay, now I'm a salesperson. What do you think the prospective client is going to ask me? What do you think the customer service is going to have problems with? Just put yourself in those boxes and get that information and write it down. Now the thing is crafting a mission, not more than 2 sentences, and describe what you're doing without saying what you're doing. And I'm going to do an exercise on that. What is Tesla's mission statement? Anybody know? What?
Clean environment.
Clean environment. Anybody else? Don't Google it. No.
Technology.
What?
Tesla's a technology.
Okay, but what's their mission? What's their mission statement? What's their mission?
To make electric
Yeah.
cars for the masses.
No,
Okay.
make life easier.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in?
Because they had a Tesla.
No,
Not yet. 45 minutes to charge.
better world.
Their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Doesn't say a word about cars. Doesn't say a word about technology.
Clean environment. That's what I mean.
It's good. Close.
Oh, you get a prize.
You worded, you phrased it.
I didn't phrase it. That's what they phrased.
Yeah, just fancy corporate words. But
It's not
you said
corporate. No, I respectfully disagree. It's not corporate. There's a reason why they're doing it. Think about it. They're transition. They're not saying anything what they do. They're not even talking about moving from one thing to the other. They're saying we're transitioning the world, helping them transitioning the world to a sustainable energy. That's it. Nothing about cars. Nothing about travel. Nothing about faster, 0 to 60. None of that stuff. None. Computer, UX. They don't talk about any of those things. So this is just a good example. It's just a very solid example of a mission without mentioning your solution, your product, your service, nothing. Your mission is, what am I going to achieve? What? Yes, correct.
It's very abstract outcome. You could say the outcome is less emission on the road. That's also an outcome.
That's also an outcome. It's true. But I'm saying when you're trying to build, that's my point. When you're trying to build a
Very
mission.
abstract. You're like thinking about completely out of box.
So again, some you look at around. Some mission statements are a little more to the thing. I just like using Tesla as an example because it makes you start thinking. Wow, everybody says car, and they don't talk about any of that. They talk about, like you said, the abstract.
Curious about Apple. What's Apple's mission?
It's about user experience. Very interesting. Yeah, it's a good point. Apple's about user experience. Nothing about technology. Correct. Now, once you get your mission statement, boil down whatever your mission is to 2 solutions max, 1 or 2 solutions. That's what you're going to focus on. What is my solution to the mission? How am I going to get there? What's my mission? Is that? What's my 2 solutions? Now, a key factor to understanding in the technology world what means a solution, I think there's an old adage question, and I would like to hear from everybody. Who is the client? In technology, it's a very complex question, and I'll you know what? I'll get forward. I'll start with it, and let's hear back. So a client can be just a plain client, right? For example, Zoho. Yeah, Zoho sells a software for people that have companies and they need a CRM. Just very simple. Then there's something called clients and users. For example, Spotify. You have clients that are the artists, and you have users that are also paying you. Who weighs over who? Then you have clients and client users. That's another category. And if somebody has another category, I would love to hear. No, but that's not VC is not a client.
Your own team is your client. Sell them the vision. They drive the road. What's the future?
What?
Sometimes they drive the road.
That's true. That's true. So I'll tell you another one. Let's say Substack, right? Substack is a little different than Spotify because Substack is they give a platform for creators to write their articles and people that want to read. So in Spotify, I would say the difference is it's people want to be entertained. When it comes to Substack, if you think about it, they want to read that guy's article or they want to read their diversified article, whatever it would be. It's much more specific. So I would call it there's clients and client users versus client and users itself. Again, that's my opinion. Anybody have any other opinion about it?
Follow the license.
What?
Think about it. Follow the license.
Correct?
That shows you a lot about.
Who? That's also a good point. From the lawyer.
I am speaking of the Lord. I write a lot of these contracts between who the user is and who the client is, and who's paying it, and the end user and the customer. A lot of these times you have to break it apart.
Correct.
But the license, sometimes you have to write where a client has their own license, and then there's a licensed user that is an somebody else who's not necessarily your client, who has to be authorized, and you have to protect yourself against what they're going to do. And then you have people fighting over, well, who's going to be responsible for that person? I don't want to be responsible for your guy who's going to come in and use the computer system and upload a virus, and now I'm going to be responsible for what he's going to do. He's some person, and he's not paying anything. He's just going on to doing something on your system and doing something bad on your system. So you have to follow all these type of things.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What's your question about what clients that?
Who's the client?
Anyway, I don't know why the client is. There's something in product. There's something called user stories, which
Okay.
is all different types of users. In other words, every single type of user that's using the system is a different user story.
Correct,
May
but
overlap, may not overlap.
right, but who is the client? Who's paying?
Whoever's paying is paying.
Right.
Who's paying is whoever gets the bill.
I understand. So that's technically speaking, it's a really good discussion. Who, in my opinion, who's the client? Client is who's paying, right?
The client wants to deliver that user. If the client wants to pay to build an app to manage the park, so very nice getting paid by the government, but at the end of the day, the end user is the client, the real client.
Client's
That's
the
the drive
consumer.
the discovery.
Whoever's consuming the product is the client.
No, not always.
Whoever's paying for the product is the funding.
Yeah.
Why?
Is the client.
Why? That's what I'm saying. Let's take Zoho.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna spend money with X or Y.
What? Again, depends. Who. It's true. Well,
Consumer doesn't pay for the product, so they lost the money.
one thing. So, you know what? Stand up. Stand up.
Design first. You're designing for the end user first. They're gonna
Who is the user?
Whoever's using it, not who's paying.
But it's true. But the user, there's the user. If the user is the one that's paying, the client user has something that he wants the feature to be. The user does not want it to be. Who are you going to decide on?
The software provider is going to fail then.
Why?
Very nice the client's paying, but the end user is not going to use it. Then the client
Not-
comes back to you after 2 years and say, "Why is nobody using the software you built?"
No. Again, you're going. Let's understand. You're going from. It's true what you're saying, but it's a one. That's in a one case scenario. For example, let's take QuickBooks, right? QuickBooks. Who's the client? He's sending out invoices. Who's the user that's paying the invoice or receiving the invoice? QuickBooks Online, for example, right? Or Adobe when you're sending out a attachment to somebody. The user is the one that's receiving it, and the one that's creating it is the client. Now, who are you going to weigh? Who's more important?
At the end of the day, if the users don't use it because it's a horrible interface, you can have clients.
Again, I didn't say about the
Adobe.
interface. What do you mean?
So that,
But the user is not using the interface.
well,
The user is the receiver of the technology, right?
right, and if they're involved, then you have nothing.
both of them happy.
You're right. But who takes priority?
It usually doesn't come up to the question of priority.
It does.
Usually the guy who pays has hands on hand, the people who use it. They have a line visual.
The guy
Great.
who pays needs some novelty, needs like when you buy a car, it should be needed seats they're never gonna use. There's certain things that you show them.
We're not talking about UX.
Can you clarify
You
your
need
question?
UX.
Sure. You know what? I'll use a different example, and I'll use another example. Let's try this one. C2P. I'll take another example. So let's say I work at C2P. They have a product called Matbaya. Okay, Matbaya is a DAF fund, technically speaking, but they are a technology-driven DAF fund. You have a card. You can give money, or you can give on your portal. You can give like OJC and Donors Fund, same thing. Yeah, but they're technology-driven. They don't have vouchers. Everything is tech. Now, the other ones have different fees, right? They have a choice, or the user pays, or the donor pays. They have one thing. The organization always pays 2.9%. Okay. Now, who's the client? Is the person using the device, using the card? He's not paying. He's just a user. Or is it the organization that's actually paying 2.9% to receive the money?
The guy using the card.
Again, who's the client and who's the user?
American Express.
Good example.
American Express.
So stand up and say, give your example. Oh yeah. That's what we're here for.
The merchants as the clients.
Beautiful example. Exactly.
From one perspective. From the other
Right.
perspective, I'm the client because they want to please me. I should.
Who's the user? Who's the client?
What are you trying to design a product? You want to know who's
We're not designing anything. We're getting a roadmap. So who's the client and who's the user?
write a roadmap.
Mhm.
Roadmap, you have to first create a product. Once you have your product,
Yeah.
right, now you have
We're not at the product yet. I'm talking about even before the product. Right? What?
product is before roadmap.
It's true. I'm saying we have a product now. I got it. I understand. But again, there's all different types. There's people that are deep into their product. There's people that are just starting up. We're talking about the concept of a roadmap, right? We're like,
Now you just got the product on the roadmap, it's on the way. Spread it out, everything's spread out.
yeah, but we'll get to it later. What's priority? What's not priority? I mean, it's a good discussion, right?
Let's go Moscow.
Again, but
Moscow could have-
I understand that. But again, who's the client? Who's the user?
The user, the guy scanning the cards, and the client is the one that.
Because he's paying for it, right? So
Not because they're paying, because the users, you have to define the users are people that have the card. Because they're using it, and they won't use it if it's not good.
who's not going to use it? The user. It's true. Again, that is true. But again, who is the user? And
I feel that the user is the one.
no problem. Great. So that's the thing. It's a discussion to have. Who's the user? Who's the client?
Well, you can ask me.
Don't you build custom? So you can make the decision.
I can help.
Anyway, so this is a conversation that I guess it really worked, and everybody had their opinions, and I'm glad, and that's what David wanted. So, like I said, I'm just giving ideas. What I say is not what.
He's the user or the client?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I have to think about it. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. So now, I think once you do have this figured out, who's the user, who's the client, the next thing I think is priority. The next thing that we have to break it down, I think, into 3 different categories as well. Old adage problem, priority. What is priority, right? The next thing would be how many clients are affected by what you're going to do, or what your roadmap looks like, or what your features are going to look like when you're doing your vision. And the most important question sometimes is financial. What is it going to cost me to build? How long is it going to take to build? Is it possible to do? So I would like to hear from you guys. What makes a decision to make a feature? Is it financial? Is it a priority because, let's say, sales asked for it or customer service asked for it? Or is it how many users are going to be affected by it? Anybody have an opinion? So you say it's financial. Okay.
Oh, but
Good question.
that is the ROI. Everything you said is to be taken into account.
Okay, but what's the priority?
Really, there's no specific answer. Because one can have a higher, the fact that there's a bug is dying, it's the whole system's crashing, doesn't make a big difference.
Again, we're talking about vision. Don't forget. I love it. You guys are tech guys. You're in the product. We're trying to zoom out. Let's zoom out a second. We're talking about vision here for a second. So I think that was a little bit of the disconnect here. You guys are all tech guys. Okay, how can this work with that? This work with that?
What your highest priority is. If your real priority is the money, or your priority is your mission.
No, the mission is there. Has to be there.
No, it depends what your highest priority is in the vision. Some will take the metric of money, some will take the metric of
Correct.
satisfaction.
Probably you prioritize the mission over money or anything else.
Okay. Can discuss that. But again, this is, I think, a question I think that everybody grapples with when you're looking at a feature. It comes in from the sales team, or it comes in from customer service, or it comes from the CEO or the CTO. Okay, came in. So now he says it's going to cost too much money. This person says, but I need it. And the other guy says, we're affecting so many customers. Why should we do it? Or the other way around. We're affecting so many customers, so we have to do it. So again, I'm just here from a vision perspective. These are things I think that you talk about, but you talk about it, like you just said, in product. Try to associate it with the vision, with your mission. It'll give you some clarity. That's my point. Now, I want to go through priority, amount of clients used, and the financial part of it for a second. I want to break it down. So let's talk about priority for a sec. What can priority look like? Priority can be a lot of different things, like he said, Rabbi, what's his name? Rabbi Spit. It can be bringing in more clients. That can be one thing. It can be more MRR, right? More recurring revenue. I'm sure there's a couple of SaaS model guys here, right? Now, customer retention, right? Market change, something happened, whatever. If it's the mood, branding, whatever it is, you want to keep on. You want customer retention. You want to reduce churn, strengthen your network effect, right? If that's your model, create more dependency on your product, right? That's also priority. That can also be priority. Enter into the enterprise space. That can be another priority. So those, I think, are certain priority things that can be talked about, and it interacts with each other. It's financial. Some of it is mission-driven. Some of them is client-based driven. That's from my perspective. Anybody have any other things that's going to be a priority?
Social psychology. No, that's you go into these meetings. The first 2 hours, you're figuring out. You know, if you really the CEO of somebody from my way on the highway, you're gonna have to throw them a bone, right?
I'm asking you. Can I ask you which industry are you in? Technology.
Technology.
Right. I'm saying what? What?
I'm a solution architect.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. So you're not a product. Yeah. So you're not a product owner, right? So you understand how the conversation is going now. Great. This is what the conversations people have. You're a solutions guy, but let's say I'm the CEO guy, and these are the arguments that and then, right. Correct.
My back so the team could develop something that the marketing department wants, or maybe there's a bug that needs to be fixed.
Correct. But again, I'm going to go back. I'm talking about the mission and the vision. And we're talking about roadmaps. We're talking about from a much higher level. You're coming from the implementation level. I'm talking about to make a decision as a leader, as a CTO leader or whichever department you're in. It's a CEO, investor. Also, what is going to be my priority? So anybody that is an actual owner that would like to chime in? What would be a priority? Is it bringing in more clients, more recurring revenue?
Whatever increases the bottom line.
That's what you would say. Okay.
I can tell you what happens in the corporate world in a month.
Okay.
The mission is going to advise, so to speak, what the world of priorities could be. The priorities are going to come from the bottom up generally. Then what happens is you can't decide which one's the priority. The answer to your question is there's no answer.
It's true.
Therefore, what people have done is they've built what they consider to be mathematical or statistical models where they'll take, here's my 7 priorities. I'm going to weight each one. And they have a committee that gets together to say, is it going to be this 10%? And then they're going to put it that way. But in terms of where you're trying to get to, which is roadmap, if you're going to get down to that level of granularity for a roadmap, then you're missing the boat because that's much, much too low. So the mission has to always be something, vision, mission, strategy. The mission has to be what influences everything you do.
Correct.
When you want to have a roadmap, I've got 10 things, what should I do first? That's when you need that bottom up, okay, let me figure it out. But not one thing is ever going to be enough.
It's true. It's never going to all outweigh, but everybody has a preference when it comes to a priority.
Correct. That's my point. So the answer is there's no.
I think it for sure.
For sure.
That's true. It ends up being a balance. And we are very clear what our financial, we have it very defined. We call it mission, we call it problems. It's very defined. And
correct.
Every single place is experienced people that make a judgment call every time. It's not something that you could.
That's true. Good point. Okay, so I wanted to discuss one company in this context. I'll just throw it out there and we'll move on. Adobe, right? Adobe XD, and Figma came along. They decided to buy them out. They fell apart. So, my question would have been, what would you guys do in that situation? Would you go and try to fight Figma, stay market course? What? Before, yeah, like when Figma was coming up, what do we do now? Like, what do we do? What? Again, whatever the case is, I'm talking about before. It's going to be a long conversation. Let's move on to the next thing. So about user, the next one is how many users or clients are you going to affect with your roadmap? So I would like to break it down to two factors. It's a little complicated. It's complex a bit. I think take 80% of your clients in general. Don't look at the fringes. Even though I know technology people like looking at it. Everything has to be perfect all the way on from the beginning till the end. And everybody knows about agile and all that stuff. But actually, just think about it in just a simple sense. 80-20 rule can be worked out over here as well. 80% of your clients, is it going to affect better MRR? Is it going to affect more dependency? What is my features going to affect? Features, again, with building vision and roadmap. What are these features going to affect that criteria of my clients? And also try to get it 80% of your use cases. That's another metric that you can use. Right? About inefficiency or making something more efficient in my 80% of my clients. It's a little bit of a complex concept. I actually said it a few times to David till we figured it out. But I'm just going to throw it out there. If somebody wants to discuss a little more, it's a little more. Again, just try to stay in your 80% of use case and 80% of your clients. Now, again, we're talking about vision and not implementation right now. We're not in the boardroom. We're not in a strategy meeting. We're in a building meeting, vision, roadmap. So another good tool is break down all these priorities. Take all these different priorities, break it down. What is it going to take me? 1 month to do, 2 months to do, 5 months, 6 months. Break them down into different buckets. How long is it going to be for me to get it delivered? Put it down sort of in priority and decide what your priority is. Like this, you'll start building your vision or your roadmap. That's basically what my point is. Make sense? Or it's too simple and we have to get down to the nitty-gritty about it? Rabbi Shapiro, it makes sense what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
Okay, but you disagree. Okay, great. So, if I may ask, what's your responsibility?
Now?
Yeah.
I advise companies how to build software.
Oh, okay. So that's build, you see?
Yeah,
I'm talking about vision and roadmap.
I was also chief product officer
Okay.
for a company.
Right, I got it. No problem. Very good, thank you. So another thing is financials, as we discussed before, financials can be classified in a few different ways as well. Everybody says financials, what? It's going to bring me more sales? Yeah, that's one financial. Less burn is another financial, right? What's the roadmap going to look like regarding to burn? Your burn rate. And sometimes it can be another source of revenue. If I'm going to build this feature, I can also borrow it somewhere else to build another, to bring another source of revenue to the company, or enter a new segment. So financials can also be split up into different priorities. So to sum it all up, basically, I think I was clear enough. I was trying to distill it down to very basic stuff and not get into the nitty-gritty. Take all these things, discuss it with your teams, from, like I said, from the CEO down to the customer service. Like this, you can start getting a grasp. Okay, what do I do in 2 months? What do I do in 6 months? What does my vision look like? Does it match up with my vision? My 6-month product that I'm going to do, does it match up with my vision? So, do you want to make a break now? Yeah? Okay, no problem. So you want to, the second half, we'll just scratch? All right, no problem. All right, so thank you very much, guys, and thanks for indulging me. And anybody who wants to disagree, I would be happy to discuss.
Thank you.
No problem. That's the point. No, Emily.